Hi, my name is Paul George. I'm a dairy farmer here at Nansmerrow farm near Truro. I'm a third generation farmer. My grandfather purchased the farm in 1947 and the George family has been farming this farm since then. Tracy, my wife, and I have 4 children, and we'd very much love it if one of those children decided to choose farming as a career as well. This farm is growing in size dramatically over the last few years. We employ 6 full-time employees, but we also employ or use 7 self-employed people to help fulfill some of the night milkings. Traditionally, like most dairy farms, there's an early start here on the farm. The alarm will go off at 3:20 in the morning. They aim to be out in the yard for 3:45. The day would normally start with checking the calving shed to see if we have any new arrivals born overnight. Then checking the rest of the herd. Shortly after, the milking would soon get underway, and then the feeding up would progress from there as well. So by 4:30, the farm is in full swing. So behind us we have what we call the far-off dry cows. When the cows are pregnant and about 7 weeks before they're due to calve, they get dried off from the main milking herd and taken away from the milking herd to stop the milk production within them so they can have a rest. And they come into this group where they're fed some low energy forage, and they stay here for 2 weeks before they then move on to the next group where they would be expected to calve. So we rear our own replacements on the farm. The young calves that get born get reared, and once they're old enough, in the spring of the year, they would have access to all the grazing grass on the farm. They would stay out then until roughly to the middle of October, when they then come back in when the weather gets inclement, and come back in for winter housing. On this farm, when we milk, the routine would be the cows would come in behind us from the collecting yard, and they'd fill up the right-hand side and the left-hand side. We would then wipe the cows' teats to make them clean, before then placing these clusters onto the cows' teats, where there's a soft, gentle pulsation that the cows then would release their milk, and it would flow down these pipes through the pipework down to the rear of the parlour into what we call a receiver jar, where the milk pump is. The milk pump would then pump the milk from the parlour out to the big bulk tanks where we store the milk refrigerated down to 4 degrees. So as we were saying, the milk gets pumped from the receiver jar, which is at the back of the parlour. It comes through the stainless steel pipe just here, comes up a sediment filter. It goes through a plate cooler, which cools the milk instantly down to about 8 degrees. And then it comes down the blue pipe and ends up into the bulk tanks to our left. The bulk tanks hold around 15,000 litres each. We're currently producing just over 10,000 litres a day at the moment. Lots of farmers have different contracts. Our contract on this farm, Nansmerrow, is with Rodder's Creamery down at Scoria, and where it's turned into delicious Cornish clotted cream. So the future of dairy farming is quite bright. It's a very nutritious food, which global demand is growing 2% per year. So I've every confidence that the future of dairy is good. So on this farm, I would love to see it carrying on developing. I would like to be able to expand the cow numbers a little further, but regulations would mean that we need to have the right amount of land and the right amount of slurry storage to do that. So there's a lot of different things that would need to be ticked and crossed for that to happen. But certainly with the children getting older and coming into the business, they would probably want to drive it forward as much as me.